is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Critical Overlord here. We're going to be talking about a few different horror topics in this video here today. We'll be talking about Beetlejuice 3. We'll be talking about Gremlins 3. We'll be talking about I Know What You Did Last Summer. And then we'll talk about Zach Cregger's Weapons. So starting off here with Beetlejuice 3. Beetlejuice 3 is in early development, which comes as no shock. This news came last week on a day of sequel announcements. You could describe it as a series of announcements came out that were all seemingly sequels, remakes, or something similar to those two. One of which I'll get into in a second, but the juice will be let loose once again. No shocker there. The second film that came out last year, a long overdue awaited sequel, overperformed, did what many people thought it would. I'd expect Aster, played by Jenna Ortega, to take over as the main leading focus this time around, while Winona Ryder sits this one out. If Lydia is back, that's fine too, but something tells me that Jenna Ortega's Astrid is going to be taken over completely this time. Michael Keaton, obviously being back as Beetlejuice, is a must, and the biggest question right now is, will Tim Burton be back to direct? My bold prediction is no, but we'll see what comes of this. The sequel didn't disappoint. Was it better than the original? No, didn't need to be. Mostly due to the sequel having one too many subplots that didn't completely lose me, but upon a few rewatches here and there, I can admit that yes, some things need a little bit more breathing room, and some things do feel underutilized and undercooked, and just there for the sake of having something to pad the runtime with, because you're not fleshing everything out. I'd hope to see the third film improve on that and have a more concise and straightforward narrative that flows better, but all in all, I would still say that sequel lived up to my expectations. It wasn't a badly crafted film, or poorly crafted film, I should say. And like I stated earlier, I think the film overperformed. I could be remembering that wrong, but I know the film definitely performed and lived up to the expectations financially for Warner Brothers, hence why they're moving on to now develop a third Beetlejuice. What are your hopes for Beetlejuice 3? Do you think this is unnecessary? Let me know why or why not down in the comment section below. Let's talk about Gremlins 3, a film that has been in development probably longer than I've been alive, and probably a lot of you listening right now. But we got an announcement last week along with this that Gremlins 3, along with the Goonies, is in development as well. I touched on this before in a solo video, but this was brought up once again last week in that article. I've already addressed how appropriate it be to tell a story in a post-pandemic world where Gizmo's threat to humanity is spotlighted like never before, resulting in yet another outbreak. That is how you can have this outbreak happen all these years later and justify it. It's basically, you could have like a group of individuals who think Gizmo could put them in another outbreak similar to what occurred in 2020. And sure enough, their quote-unquote good intentions causes the very thing they feared to transpire. It's been so long since Gremlins 2, and if there's any franchise that could use 2020 as inspiration, Gremlins is one of them, since it already has ties to unwanted outbreaks. And I think just putting a more serious tone in the film, addressing the concept of does Gizmo deserve to live or die, could bode well for the narrative and the overall way people engage with the story, depending on how you present it to them and if it's worth engaging with, because some things can be boring depending on how they're executed. That's why I always stress that execution is everything, but I think this would be a brilliant post-pandemic type of narrative to explore in the world of Gremlins. I think Gremlins is much better suited for that than some other movies where you could argue when they force it in, it feels very preachy and heavy-handed and out of place. With Gremlins, exploring a post-pandemic narrative all about the outbreak of Mogwai and his nasty several cousins that love to come to town when he gets wet, I don't see anything wrong with that. I think it could be very compelling, and I would love to see some familiar faces back into the mix. But what do you guys want to see for Gremlins 3, or do you think this also is unnecessary, just like Beetlejuice 3 is probably unnecessary? Let's talk about I Know What You Did Last Summer. Jennifer Caden Robinson quote tweeted a tweet stating that the I Know What You Did Last Summer trailer is expected next month, and teased that it's probably coming sooner, as in this month, I presume, which backs up what Cryptic 4K had been telling us. Since we know this trailer got showcased at CinemaCon, it's probably going to be showcased at this upcoming sneak preview of what I think was highlighted at CinemaCon. If you check your local AMC Regal listings, there's some sort of sneak preview of what I think was highlighted at CinemaCon. So chances are we are going to be getting that trailer this month. It aligns with what Cryptic 4K had told us. Jennifer Caden Robinson has already teased that it's coming this month by basically just quote tweeting someone saying it's coming next month, saying no, it's coming sooner, aka this month. Plus we have Until Dawn coming out later this month. That's the perfect time to release the trailer. That's a Sony film, and they're going to put the I Know What You Did Last Summer trailer ahead of it in the previews. Makes perfect sense. I would guess it's probably going to come out sometime this week. If not this week, sometime next week, or whenever Until Dawn comes out, which I think is next week, and I could be wrong. Fingers crossed this film lives up to everybody's expectations. I know that there are people expecting things that don't make sense, like the fact that you are expecting the OG stars to be front and center when they've already made it clear left and right that they are not doing that. If you are engaging with the news and are well aware that they are telling you they're not doing that, and you continue to expect that, you are setting yourself up for one of the biggest disappointments you will get this year when it comes to a legacy sequel. They're not doing it. It's about all the newbies, and they're going to hopefully make Ray and Julie impactful to the story in a big way. Ray and Julie having a lot of screen time again also doesn't mean that they were important to the narrative. They could be on screen for 20 plus minutes and have absolutely poor usage and not a single bit of memorable impact on the narrative. We don't need that. If they're only here for 5 minutes and it's memorable, that's much better than being here for 20 minutes and you stink. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that I Know What You Did Last Summer makes great use of the legacy stars. Hopefully this trailer lives up to everyone's expectations. Hopefully the film in general lives up to everyone's expectations and has some timely commentary to share with us as well. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about is going to be Zach Cregger's weapons. Now, we got this first look image of Zach Cregger's weapons, which highlights the time that all of these missing children are supposedly going to be running out of their households and disappearing into the night. All of this is centered around Julia Gardner's class, her class of missing children. The town turning on her, thinking she had something to do with it because it's quite peculiar that she's the only teacher whose classroom went missing. But again, what I keep seeing left out of this promo so far is the fact that there's supposed to be one kid who didn't go missing unless they've changed it. One kid is supposed to have not gone missing. I'm assuming they're going to reveal this in another trailer or sometime down the road when it comes to this marketing. But all of her kids did not go missing. There's supposed to be one who actually made it out of that missing situation with no issue. And there's actually a website now up, I think titled maybrookmissing.com. I'll link it down in the comment section for you all to go look at it. But as you can see, they're doing exactly what I thought they might be doing. They're following a long legs type of marketing campaign where they're going to be cryptically revealing things, raising questions to you as you wait in anticipation for the film to drop and get all of these juicy things answered. But yeah, they're doing all the right things I thought they might be when it comes to the marketing. This is our first look image. Like I stated before, Weapons is probably going to be the biggest hit for the horror genre this year. I see a lot of people revisiting it when it comes to theaters. When you go see it, I don't doubt that you're going to want to see it again. Everything about the story makes me think that that's just what this is destined to be. It's well written. It has a lot of twists and turns. It's quite compelling. It touches on a lot of serious topics. And all it has to do is just win over the general public. And I see it doing that. I see it doing that. I hope, wish, and pray that it does that, because then it would make that bidding war even more fitting. Because right now, I still myself am trying to understand what was the big fuss with this bidding war. It's just I need to see how it's executed first to really understand the hype. But let me know what you guys think about all of this down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, of course, make sure you subscribe, turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. In the description, I have links to all of my social media accounts. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can message me there to let me know if there's any movies, news, or reviews you'd like me to cover in the future. And with all that in mind, guys, I will see you in the next video.